You're already recording?
Yeah, I think so. It's just 7:30. I'll wait I know Nick is coming, so we'll give him another minute or two. Mike Sabiga won't be here. He's in Colorado. And Doug Jenny is at a parent teacher conference for Lucas. So the only two, oh, Danielle. Nick's here. We'll give another minute or two, just see if Bethany, I haven't heard anything from Bethany, so she's the only one we don't wild card for now. All right, I guess we'll get started. It is 7:33 p.m. I guess so. We'll call the meeting to order. Seating of alternates. I guess I'll seat Nick for Mike Sabiga. And Meg for, no. We don't have any other full members missing, do we? Oh, Doug, for Doug. Meg for Doug, there we go. All right. So. Minutes from the last meeting, there are none. I continue to get my hand slapped. So thus the need for a secretary. So hear from the public. I did hear, I don't know if you can see this and read it. It is from Quinnipiac University School of Law. It is the Connecticut Agricultural Mediation Program. So they have a very, very deep, intensive dispute resolution center hosted by the Quinnipiac School of Law. So if we ever get in that deep, we can contact Quinnipiac. It's the only communication I've had. So number 4, hear from the public. Is there anyone here from the public who would like to speak? Nope. Okay. Old business. Chairman. So this odyssey began over a year ago, trying to find a replacement for me and for Mike Sabiga. Mike is dealing with some issues, and so I know I'm not sure he's going to even stay on the commission very much longer. And I know that I am, I know I will not be chairman in 2023 because I will be resigning in entirety from the commission by the end of this year. So I'll still be around to help anybody else out. That's new chairman, vice chairman, whatever. I'm not going to disappear. My life has different demands now. And and it's time for me to move on. So having said that, so chairman and vice chairman, we will need to replace. The way it goes is it needs to be the chairman or vice chairman need to be members, not alternates. So we can do anything we need to do. I'll be creating an open position. If there's my resignation, will be creating an open position for someone who's not on the commission or who is an alternate to move into a full member seat to become the chairman, if that's their desire, if anyone has that desire. And the same thing will probably happen with Mike. So so that's so if anyone has any ideas or anyone they'd like to nominate or anyone who would like to step up and step in, love to hear from you.
I think it would be wonderful to have Luther step up as chair.
Okay, so
and become a member at the same time.
well, that would be what would have to happen, yeah.
Filling in your position.
So go ahead, Luther.
Yeah, hey, thanks for the vote of confidence there, Nick. I'm more than happy to get involved again with the commission. My only concern is a continuation of the concerns that led me to step back. I need to make certain that any future involvement with the Ag Commission is not going to bring problems to the commission because of pursuits that we're undertaking on our farm here. And yeah, I just want to make sure that I can get the education and resources I need to make certain that I don't have to go through another round of being accused of manipulating policy at the town level for personal gain. I got to figure that part out. Beyond that, yeah, I'm happy to help.
Good to know, Luther. And I think that if we were sure to have, if we could get a secretary in place, and we were sure to cross all our Ts and dot all our Is in all our meetings and everything like that. We've always been well above board. All the crap that happened to you guys was lies and made up. So we just need to document better what we do and how we do it. And I think it would be relatively smooth sailing. And I think a solid relationship with a co-chair, vice chair, who could maybe, if something's coming up, step in and run meetings, etc., would help alleviate any of your concerns. So does anybody else have any other ideas?
Hey, Art,
Yes.
first, I just want to say, I've already got too many hats on my head and I twist them around 3 times a day. So, and
Understood.
yeah, well, and I wanted to kind of touch on what Luther said and also bring up a point. Art, I think you were on the meeting when I got appointed to this commission and the pushback from certain members of the Board of Selectmen. The bottom line is that if there were more people interested in helping out on boards and commissions, we wouldn't be in this position that we're in, where guys like me are wearing 3 or 4 different hats and raising that flag. And that applies to Luther and his family as well, and you, and you're going to find that the people that currently are involved with things are the people that want to be involved, and the people that want to complain are the people that are going to want to complain. So I will second Nick's voice on, I think Luther would be a good person. I certainly don't have the time or probably the political ability without raising even more problems for the commission and other boards as well. But I would certainly back Luther, and then I've been trying to get people to come to these meetings and listen. There's a lot more people out there that are doing, agricultural stuff, but I also understand that they're busy and it's hard in this day and age. I was at the county meeting for the Farm Bureau last night, and right before that, I was at an event for the fire department. I literally drove there to the county meeting, taking off one uniform and putting on another. So I understand.
So Luther, that's 2 votes, buddy. So Luther, are you willing to come on the commission and step into the chair part, or just?
So perhaps, and part of what gave me some comfort, and I feel bad talking about him because he's not here and I haven't had this conversation, but part of what seemed like it was going to work when we had this plan a year ago was Doug had an interest in facilitating as vice chair, and that, anybody that's on the commission at this point, I think would do a great job as a vice chair. If he wanted to participate in that role again, then that would also certainly give me a level of comfort, knowing that he's pretty engaged with everything going on. He's right down the road. We talk all the time as it is.
Yeah, Doug had mentioned that that was the plan a year ago. And so it's unfortunate Doug's not here.
Yeah, but I can ping him though and see if that's something that we could discuss.
So if you would do that, that would be great. And then what we can do is, if that becomes the plan, we will need to commence with getting you a spot, vacating a spot. What we'd probably need to do is, we'd need to, if Doug's willing to become vice chair, we'd need to vote him in ASAP into the vice chairman's spot. Then I could resign, creating the vacancy. And then we could work on, then Doug could work on getting through the Board of Selectmen, the whole process we went through, getting Paul on and Bethany and Meg, getting you back on. And then, so then Doug would be pretty much running the ship solo as vice chair until you are appointed by the Board of Selectmen. And then an election would have to be held by this commission to put you into the chair spot. And then everything would be fully staffed. I can't speak for the timing on Mike, but I know he's having a tough go. So he wanted to talk to me before he went to Colorado, and that it didn't happen. So anybody have any input on that plan? Thumbs up from Nick.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan to me.
And my only thought, Art, would be that you would probably be a great resource to Doug to getting all of the procedural language and processes documented before your resignation, so that we have all the T's crossed and I's dotted to go to Board of Selectmen with, because it took a couple of months the last time around just to add members and get them ratified through the Board of Selectmen. So I think that would be a great help to just document that process for Doug.
So that was an educational process on my part. We had some wording wrong when we first got involved with Board of Selectmen, and we got that right now. So I suppose I could start working on getting that ball rolling pending my resignation. See, I'm unclear how. That's just technicalities, but that's how we would do it. And like I said, I'm not going anywhere. And actually, as an advisor to the commission and to the new chair and vice chair, it would probably be best if I'm not on the commission. I'm a member of the public.
Okay.
The question to get resolution
Okay.
for is if the Board of Selectmen can recognize the resignation and recognize the recommendation of a new member at the same meeting, so that it doesn't take 2 weeks or 4 weeks between that whole process. I believe I've witnessed them do that on other boards and commissions, but it would be worth just clarifying that if you had one letter to the Board of Selectmen saying, here's my resignation, also we're recommending this person be added as a full member.
So that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. And I can pick a date probably prior to the November meeting even. So that you would be, Luther, you would be on the commission. You might have to, the commission, if I'm off, I can't run anything. But someone may have to step up. I don't know how it would work without having a vice chair in place to run the meeting, right? Say, let's have a vote, let's do this, let's do that. So
you could vote Doug in absentia.
It's funny you say that, because that is how I was voted in as the state tree farm chairman, because I missed a tree farm committee meeting. And the next one I went to a month later, I was the state chairman. So I don't want to do that to poor Doug. What we could do, is maybe even, if Doug's willing, right, Luther, if you talk to him and Doug's willing to step up with you, maybe we could have a special meeting where we would just meet, vote Doug in as vice chair, then I will resign, and you've got a leader to the ship, right? You got somebody's got a hold of the rudder, and then I can guide Doug through the process of accepting my resignation and accepting your appointment, and we'll get it right on the Board of Selectmen's agenda.
Could we make a motion and vote now to put Doug as vice chair pending his approval later?
We could, but I don't.
Just throwing ideas out there.
I think Luther is sending him a message right now, so we'll see if he responds, at least have some idea as to whether he wants to.
He's probably in the meeting with Lucas's teacher, and he's gonna swear or scream or something.
Probably, but
You know, and so, all right, so we'll move on. So we will table chairman, vice chairman for now. I think we have a tentative plan, pending what we hear from Doug. If his thing is a go, then watch your email maybe for a special meeting. I will get on the Board of Selectmen and tell them our plan. Maybe even go to the next Board of Selectmen meeting, because they have a thing on their agenda where they will hear from boards and commissions. And I can explain our plan. I'm resigning. Luther wants to step on, and Doug, Jenny, and Luther are going to be vice chairman, chairman. And so we need to get that done by the end of the year. And if I do that in person, that might have a little bit more weight than an email, because sometimes they get into that selectman's office, emails do, and they just disappear. So that's one of the problems we had a year ago.
Yeah.
So we didn't get on the agenda for a couple of 2 or 3 meetings, which was 6 weeks. So secretary, I cannot impress upon everybody how important it is. Maybe if Luther and Doug are in charge, it'll be a little more clarified, because I'm a little scatterbrained and keeping minutes and getting them in on time. But a secretary is critical. It really is. Every other commission has one. Go ahead, Luther.
Yeah, Art, to that end, so all the other, well, not all, because, so Conservation Commission, they run their own minutes, but, Board of Selectmen, they have Christine keeping minutes. Planning and Zoning, we have a vendor,
Right.
that
Yeah,
is.
so does Board of
keeping-
Finance. We have the
So
same.
what I'm
vendor.
wondering is,
Yeah.
can the Ag Commission have access to that same resource where that person is just on the meeting and their sole job is to take minutes,
So
and then it's not an issue?
that person does collect a fee. So
Yep.
does the Ag Commission have a budget?
No, we're not allowed to handle money.
Okay, so that
That's why
may
we couldn't run
present,
the farmer's market.
a problem.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Right.
Yeah, when we had Claire Nelson, she was the FFA member, and then we had Nick, what's his name, was FFA. We
Right.
saddled them with the minutes as an educational experience.
That's what I was
It
gonna
doesn't-
say. Last meeting, Bethany was gonna follow up with FFA people to see if
Yeah.
has anyone heard if
I haven't
Keep
heard
on
from Bethany, and I'm
Okay.
sure they're very busy, so like everybody else. So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't need to even be someone on the commission. It can be somebody who just, it's not a lot of work. It's just a matter of keeping the notes, put them in order. And it's not a lot of stuff. It's just motions and attendance, who's here and who speaks, and you just kind of follow the agenda, as long as the meeting follows the agenda. So anyway, there's that. So that's important, but maybe the FFA person will do it. We'll see, but it's important. And because like I said, they are after me. Every time I send an email into the town about a meeting notice, I get multiple back. Where's your minutes? So, all right, secretary. The Education Outreach Subcommittee, that was Bethany's idea, and it's too bad she's not here. I just wanted to touch on that because I think that's really important. I think that's something we kind of dropped the ball on. I just wanted I put that on there to voice my feelings of how important I think that is, that continue on. I know Bethany wants a little bit of help. I think how that would work is whoever's on the subcommittee, they would email ideas back and forth to each other and then bring something to the commission, and then we'd move forward on it. So So that's the only reason I had that on there. I was wishing Bethany was here. So, so that's that. New business, I figured we'd have enough work to do with what we had, and I don't really have anything. We got a lot of balls in the air from the past that are kind of sitting idle, that maybe with some new leadership will get picked back up again, and we'll get going on. Roundtable. Here's where everybody has a chance to speak about anything they would like to speak about. I see Danielle, she's been awful quiet.
We have a new tax assessor.
Oh, really?
So
Well-
when you get in your personal property declarations for your businesses, we have our old tax assessor.
Yeah, I was
back.
gonna say, we have a new old tax assessor.
Yeah,
What's her name?
Lynn is back.
Lynn.
Lynn, yeah.
Lynn is
And,
back.
and
Yeah.
I think she's going to do a great job. She always did a
Yeah.
great job for us in the past.
Good to
So
know.
we took our paperwork in this week, which might be a record.
I know. We didn't go in on the last day of the month.
Okay, you weren't standing at the door on the last day?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a problem in the past. I won't deny it. And, you know, I'll also say after filling that out, I hope the Board of Selectmen re-engages with their initiatives regarding tax abatements. I was trying to think of a delicate way to put that.
I think the Board of Selectmen's kind of waiting on us, so we'll get that ball rolling. Hopefully early next year. Nick, anything?
Not really. I'm excited to see this group come back together again. I miss our weekly or our monthly meetings in the summer.
It kind of lost its luster when we had to start going to these Zoom meetings. They were the
Absolutely, yeah.
wild, carefree meetings of the past. I
Is
shouldn't
there
say
any
that too
interest
loud.
or ability to bring those back?
So last I knew, the town was working on having
You can have
hybrid meetings.
you can do either or now.
Oh,
You can do basically all three. If you want to have a hybrid meeting, you can make it a hybrid meeting. If you want to have in person, you can have in person. There is a restriction on if somebody in the public wants to have electronic access, then it has to be provided. But
I think actually, because we just went through some of this as well with planning and zoning. I think it's actually if a commission member wants to have
oh,
electronic.
did they change
access,
it? They had talked about changing
Then-
it. We haven't
yeah,
gone
so
through
if-
it yet.
If a member of the board or commission needs to be able to connect remotely, either by video or by call,
Right.
then the commission has to accommodate that. They do not have to accommodate legally, don't have to accommodate
The
public.
public, they got rid of that restriction because that was a restriction for a while. I know
Yeah.
there's been a couple of meetings that have gone on through the summer about some of the stuff that they were talking about.
Yeah,
So-
that's what it sounds like it came down on. I
I-
don't know if
I
anybody.
actually, I think I just got an email package about some of that stuff that I haven't had a chance to go through. So
Yeah, it might have even been something that was discussed at the FOIA workshop that was
Yeah.
conducted by the
well,
town.
that workshop, one thing that came out of that was any commission member can always call into a meeting, which
Yes.
I did not know that. So like, for instance, if for me, when I travel, I was always concerned about being away for a meeting. But what I learned from that meeting was that even if I'm away, I can always call in I can just make arrangements with the chairman
Yes,
and say, put me on speakerphone, but that's always a possibility. I guess it would become a problem if more than one member needed to do that and you needed to have some type of, conference call capability, but
right.
Do-
And then,
Do you
Yeah.
know if that FOIA meeting was recorded? Because I
it
couldn't
was,
make that day.
it was. Yep,
Okay.
it was.
Okay.
Somewhere, go back into the logs on the Ashford YouTube thing
Okay,
link,
yeah.
and it's in there somewhere. Yeah.
Cool, awesome.
There's a lot, actually, there was a really informative meeting. There was a lot of stuff that went.
it was
went-
good because
went in
the other
there.
thing that came out of that and I thought of this when Art talked about a subcommittee for education. All subcommittee meetings need to be noticed, made available to the public, have minutes kept and
Right.
recorded and reported just like principal meetings. So there's very little added value in subcommittees at that point. It's really something to just manage in your general agenda, if at all possible, because you still have to report it and record it and notice it the same way.
Right. Yeah, there was a lot of interesting info in that. I was at the county meeting last night for Farm Bureau, and one thing that came up was the farmer's tax exemption paperwork. There's been a ton of problems, I guess. I actually know because I had problems with mine.
I haven't gotten mine back. I haven't heard a
So-
word.
Yeah, so that was basically the whatever you want to call it, the consensus was that most of the people last night hadn't gotten it yet. I did get mine, but as I told and she was the ag rep, she was the state ag, not DRS, but it was 3 nasty emails and a phone call. And then they apparently, DRS was shifting it so that there would be, instead of the September 30th hard date for everybody in the state, they were gonna make them rolling. So like, I got my new paperwork, and it said my new expiration date was August 30th. And I was like, what's up with that? But the information I got last night was that you're gonna get a new one that'll say September 30th and of 2024. And then the next cycle, they're gonna roll into a rolling expiration. I don't know what they're basing it on, whether it's the alphabet or lawn darts. I have no idea.
So what's everybody doing that doesn't have theirs yet? They paying the sales tax?
A lot of screaming and yelling. I have no idea, that's what actually, she brought it up. And then of course this poor girl got inundated, and she's not DRS, she's Connecticut Ag, but that's kind of the problem, right? Like you legally, that vendor can't sell you anything
Right.
without charging you sales tax.
I got a pile of letters from all the people we buy stuff from that say your
Correct.
stuff's expired.
Right.
So we have the same issue. We just kept calling. Danielle just kept calling
Yeah.
until I told her to stop calling, and it'll get processed. And then they didn't process it on the date, and then we kept calling again, and they
Yeah.
finally did process it before our expiration. But it was dated, the date we submitted our form. It was
Yeah.
backdated too.
No, yeah,
That's-
and
that's
so
one-
I submitted my form, and then I didn't hear anything. I sent them an email. I got no reply through the My Connect website. I sent them another one, got no reply. I called and they said, well, it'll be processed. I said, that's what it says on the My Connect thing, right? And then finally, the third email I sent was pretty blunt, like WTF kind of thing. And I got some reply from some gentleman, and then within 8 hours, I had the form. So,
Did you guys all file online?
yes.
Yeah,
And I mailed mine, old school.
filed online. It said it would be processed in 5 days. It took 2
Yeah,
months.
yeah, and it wasn't.
Because I called DRS and the woman was very nice and she said, yeah, they're just buried over there.
Yeah.
I'll send him an email. If there's any problems with yours, he'll get a hold of you. But so it's good to know I'm not alone.
But
I'll just
yeah,
wait
no,
it
you're
out.
not. I mean, I would say probably 2/3 of the room last night had not received theirs yet. I mean, and we're going into we're mid-October, and they expired in end of September. And mine, I actually sent mine in record time this year, because usually I'm the one sending it in on the 29th of September, and I got it in the middle of August. So I was a little annoyed when I didn't get it back, and I think it was September 21st when I finally got some kind of success. So
We were real similar to that. But interestingly, so our renewal took weeks and weeks to process, but I helped facilitate 2 new tax exempt permits, both of which were issued next day. So I found it remarkable that,
that
startup, brand new.
Yeah, got it right away,
exemption,
and all of us have been doing it.
literally next day. Both of those were submitted after we submitted our renewal. and they were issued next day, and then ours still took weeks and weeks and weeks.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Danielle. I just wanted to add that, like, I felt that we almost got penalized. Like, we also got our stuff in super early this year. It was the beginning of August that we submitted it. So,
Wow.
and yeah, I had to harass them up to the end
Right.
of September to actually get the form. And when I got it, yeah, it expires like July 30th
Yeah.
instead
So-
of September. So I am glad to hear, Paul, that
What
I
I hope
hope
she's
to
right.
get
I mean,
the
I
one.
hope that's true. I do. I mean, you know, because it was funny as she's saying that they're gonna also still expire September 30th. I looked at my wife, and then I looked at the girl across the table, and we both said, "Well, that's not true." So that's when this young lady said, "No, they're gonna reissue them." So we'll see what happens.
So is it 2 years or is it just barely
No,
1
it's
year?
2 years. It's
Yeah.
2 years still. But
Yeah.
they were gonna do some kind of rolling thing. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is or why.
So to try not to get buried like they did this year and get way behind.
Well, yeah,
they'll
but
stay
it's
buried
all
year.
electronic. I mean, quite frankly, Art, it's all electronic now. If you do the My Connect thing, like all those numbers, you just send in the stuff. Like everything's electronic.
Well, yeah, didn't you have to upload forms and stuff?
Yeah, you had to upload the form that you normally normally attach to it. But I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I just thought it was easier to stuff them in an envelope and mail it. Big manila envelope that says right on the bottom of it, Reg 8 renewal. Big letters. So, I mean, you can't misunderstand where that's supposed to go. And so we'll see.
So other than that, that's really all that came out of that meeting last night. It wasn't really really much. There was no real big policy stuff or anything like that. So
All right.
I have a small tidbit that so the USDA had a grant initiative this past summer. They had $4 billion of money to distribute for supporting climate smart commodities. And the target recipients for that money were effectively states and universities, really. Connecticut state of Connecticut, DOAG did send in applications for that money, and they did really well. The state has been awarded, I think, all told, about 15 million
Wow.
to put towards, they'll then flip that down. They'll likely, my guess is that sometime in the next few months, they'll launch an application process and criteria for how to apply to qualify for that money. And they'll redistribute that back out throughout the state. And just to put it in context, New York State, which dwarfs our agricultural economy, they only got 60 million of that same grant pool. So on a population basis and on a GDP basis and all of that, Connecticut really represented pretty well to get 15 out of it. So anyway, keep your eyes open for things coming from DOAG for potential opportunities to compete for some of that money down the road.
Good to know. All right. So. If everybody's all
And it was
set.
a really abysmal crop year, just in case anybody missed it.
I got 3 phone calls today, Luther.
Yeah, hay is gonna
Well.
be in short supply this winter.
Not gonna, it's already in short supply.
Yeah, it's already, yeah, but people are
And
gonna
that
be really-
that was a conversation last night I had with the Connecticut Extension Service office out of Tallinn about the hay situation. And I was like, well, there is none. So
If you don't have it, you're
if you don't have it, you're in trouble.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I keep getting messages from people like, do you have hay? No, we don't. Where can I get hay? I'm like, yeah, I don't, I
Yeah.
can't help you. I don't know.
I did. Seriously, I had 3 phone calls today. One of them was a regular customer, but like I can't create something I don't have. Like,
Yeah.
There were regular
We,
customer that we,
We finished cutting, what, 2 weeks ago? We finished
Yeah.
second cutting because it took till then for there to be any.
Yep.
Yeah. James is out. He's got hay down now.
So do I. So
Yeah. Yep. If I had anything left, I would. But we've done
I'll
the
be
whole-
going, I'll be going through probably the middle of November at the rate we're going. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, all right. So we have a plan. Have you heard back from Doug?
No.
He's
No.
probably,
He's
you're
in-
probably never gonna hear from him again.
Yeah, I may be permanently ghosted.
He just deleted your number and blocked you. All right, so when Luther hears from Doug, Doug will get a hold of me. So Luther, have Doug contact me
Yep.
and we will go from there. And so keep your eye on your email for the possibility of a special meeting popping up between now and our regular meeting in November. And hopefully we can have positions changed and everything, so we can have an election of chairman in December. So we will roll into January with all fresh faces, ready to fight. All right. So motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Paul Varga, second.
Good.
Nick, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Cherry.
I said aye.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you didn't hear her?
Thanks, everybody. We'll
Thanks,
see you
Art.
soon.
Thank
Aye.
you.
Have a great night.